Moses and Monotheism, penned by the Austrian psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud in 1939, is a profound exploration of religious philosophy consisting of 3 essays. In this work, Freud extends his psychoanalytic theories to generate intriguing hypotheses about historical events. One of his most controversial assertions is that Moses, contrary to the biblical narrative, was not of Hebrew origin. Instead, Freud posits that Moses was born into Egyptian nobility and was possibly a follower of the early Egyptian monotheistic figure, Akhenaten. Freud proceeds to offer his own narrative of the events leading to the biblical Exodus and cleverly applies his theories on the psychological impact of guilt to these historical occurrences. This thought-provoking work delves into themes of religious history, historical inaccuracies, and collective guilt. Moses and Monotheism has ignited considerable debate and disagreement among religious scholars due to Freud's unconventional reinterpretation of biblical history. Following its release in Austria, the book was swiftly translated into English and continues to be widely read and discussed today. The book is divided into 3 parts, with the initial section introducing Freud's central idea that Moses was not a Jewish figure but an Egyptian rebel who led a faction of Jewish rebels out of Egypt during a period of civil strife. Tragically, these followers later conspired against Moses, resulting in his death. Freud characterizes this act as an original sin that has haunted the tribe of Israel throughout its history. According to Freud, the guilt and remorse stemming from their actions led these followers to eventually encounter a smaller monotheistic tribe. Merging this newfound belief system with their memories of Moses, they developed a cohesive belief structure. This fusion, Freud posits, is why the Jewish people developed the concept of a Messiah, to reconnect with their ancient father figure. Freud contends that this enduring sense of ancestral shame has been transmitted through Jewish collective memory across generations, contributing to their devout nature and religious identity. In the context of the Jewish narrative surrounding the adoption of Moses, Freud posits that the motivation behind this story was rooted in individuals' desire to establish a connection to royalty, thereby elevating their own sense of importance. According to Freud, although Moses truly belonged to the royal family of Egypt, the Jewish people who followed him crafted the tale of his adoption to forge a closer bond with him. The second section of Freud's book delves into the development of the Jewish religion. He contends that the original deity of Moses was the Egyptian god Aten. However, this monotheistic belief in Aten faced resistance from the polytheistic Egyptian priests, who held significant influence over the population. The introduction of Aten to the public occurred during the reign of the monotheistic pharaoh Akhenaten, but this attempt at establishing a monotheistic faith in Egypt dissipated with his passing. The priestly establishment reinstated the old polytheistic order. Freud argues that a group of Egyptian royals, led by Moses, were dissatisfied with this restoration and initiated a rebellion. Eventually, they fled to the desert. Freud presents evidence suggesting parallels between Jewish customs and Aten worship, such as the practice of circumcising young children, limited mention of an afterlife, and unwavering devotion to a single god. He posits that, following their failed attempts at consolidating power within Egypt's religious hierarchy, Moses led his loyal followers into the desert, where they could practice their faith free from the influence of the Egyptian throne. However, it's important to note that Freud's theory lacks concrete historical evidence, as he primarily relies on it as an alternative to the prevailing notion of Moses as a Jewish man raised in Egyptian royal circles. Drawing from his knowledge of Jewish folklore and traditions, Freud suggests that Moses' followers initially remained loyal to him, but eventually, their beliefs stemming from their polytheistic past clashed with their newfound monotheistic faith. Following Moses' passing, much of his religious teachings fell by the wayside. However, the followers eventually encountered another group that had also escaped the turmoil of Egypt's civil war. This group adhered to the worship of a mountain deity named Yahweh, known for his exacting demands regarding ritual sacrifices. Gradually, the people began to embrace this faith. Yet, the influence of this newly encountered group began to sway the Yahweh worshippers. The memory of Moses' concept of an all-powerful and benevolent deity began to resurface, gradually influencing the Yahweh followers toward a more moderate and balanced approach to their faith. Initially suppressed due to feelings of shame, the memory of Moses started to re-emerge, leading to the integration of his story with the worship of Yahweh. Freud posits that a similar process occurred with the story of Jesus, suggesting that those who embraced Christianity crafted the narrative of his crucifixion and resurrection as a means of redemption for humanity's past transgressions. Freud further contends that the ritual of Holy Communion can be linked to the totem feast discussed in his earlier work on religion, totem and taboo. Sigmund Freud, an Austrian neurologist and psychoanalyst, is renowned as one of the most influential figures in the development of modern psychology. His work, particularly in the analysis of human sexuality and its impact on behavior, remains a subject of ongoing debate and controversy. Despite this, his contributions continue to be widely taught and discussed. Over the course of his career, which spanned from 1891 to 1940, Freud authored 22 books and gained recognition for his extensive collection of case studies. His most significant works were later compiled and republished in the standard edition of the Complete Psychological Works of Sigmund Freud. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.